accountability buddies. I'm Les, and this is another episode of Less is More Healthy, coming to you from the park, where this is like the 10th time I've tried to record this episode. For whatever reason, I keep flubbing it up. It's hot as hell here today, super humid. Um, we've just gotten back from Maine. It's been a couple of days since we got back. I haven't been riding my bike all that much this vacation. I did get a 43-mile ride in, which was a section of the East Coast Greenway. I did from Salem to Waltham on the East Coast Greenway. It's all, for the most part, pretty much protected trail or cycleway. There are some sections where you're on road, but it's minimal. And the sections that I did do that were on the road were pretty decent. They weren't that bad. There were some sections in the Danvers to Salem area that were a little more gnarly than this was. That being said, up in Maine, we did do 10 more miles of the East Coast Greenway, 10 more miles of the Down East Sunrise Trail, which was pretty nice. Gravel trails or rail trails are my favorite. They are, there's just something about the gravel that really makes me happy. It's like a combination between road and mountain biking that I really enjoy. And that trail is a large chunk gravel versus the kind of gravel that we have down here, which is more of a dusty, sandy gravel, crushed stone. So it compacts down into almost something that feels like tar in a lot of places. Whereas up there, they use the larger chunk gravel because it's a mixed use trail. I'm not going to get too much into the trail review. I'm going to do an entire episode of my 43-mile ride and then the 10 additional miles that I've done of the East Coast Greenway on the Down East Sunrise Trail as their own separate videos. I will say I'm super biased towards Down East Maine because I grew up there. I think it's super beautiful. As much as, I don't live there, I moved away for very specific reasons. It's beautiful. It's a great place to visit. I wish that their trail had a section for non-motorized use. I wish they would bump out a 4-foot wide section for cycles and non-motorized use for walkers and everything. Because the ATVs and the UTVs are pretty respectful most of the time. I did find last year around the July 4th weekend, there were a lot of people openly drinking and driving on their UTVs, which is not legal, but people were doing it anyway, and people are gonna do their alcohol thing. But anyway, people were a little less respectful last year than they were this year. So this year, I did it during the week and before the holidays. So last year, we weren't really thinking, and we rode on July 4th, which I would not recommend doing at all. It's a big drinking holiday. A lot of people, everyone has a day off for the most part. And there's a lot of ATV traffic. But that being said, I did have a good time on the trail. It was an enjoyable ride. It's really scenic, really beautiful. But I'll get into the full accounting of that in that video. Now, I didn't do as much riding this vacation as I really would have liked for many, many reasons. But, I spent a lot of time with family while I was up there. I did get that 45-mile ride in at the beginning of the vacation time, so the end of the previous week. But I just haven't done as much riding as I really would have liked to um, while I was on vacation. Now, um, some words on the performance of the G1 Explorer. Um, my new drivetrain is working really, really well. The shifting in the back has gotten a lot better. It still needs a little fine tuning. And I think part of it is just that I need to get a cassette that only goes up to 42 teeth. I don't think that this derailleur can handle the 46 teeth. It can't get up over the 46 tooth cog anyway. Um, and it doesn't have the tension to kind of keep it in place. So I think only the wide range cassette will be 11 to 42 teeth. This cassette can go on another bike at some point. But I will say that the wide range that I have, the 11 speeds that it is doing, the 42 teeth is more than enough to get me up most hills. Um, would it get me up most hills if I were fully loaded for touring? Probably not. But it does pretty well. I did have on my 43-mile ride a couple of mechanical issues. The first one, the chain jammed up on the front derailleur. I was able to get it unjammed really easily, but then when I was in just outside Boston, I think I might have been in Everett, not and a section of the Greenway that is rough. The something got caught in the chain, and the chain literally yanked the front derailleur um, into the tire, and then also down into the chain ring itself. It was nasty. I wasn't sure. I thought I might have to take it off and figure something out on to get me home. I was looking at I'm like looking at it on the side of the road, thinking like, what the hell am I gonna do? Um, Fortunately, I had my toolkit on me, and I used my not a crescent wrench, a pair of pliers to kind of bend things back into place. Also, I ended up loosening the front derailleur, raising it and twisting it back into place, and then bending everything back. And it's been working fine since. I do need to actually order the clamp so that I can use the new RX derailleur that came with my set. This with the LX has been working fine, so I haven't been stressing over that at all. But I do realize I need to get that fixed or swapped out. Um, it's been working fine since then. Not overly worried about it. Yeah, so overall the drivetrain's working really well. The brakes with the new pads are working really, really well. I did have a weird freak thing where a stick got jammed up into the rear brake pad, and the little springs that hold the brake pad in place got bent and was making horrible noise, and just getting bent every time the wheel turned. It was super annoying. So got those things fixed, and it's been pretty good since then. But like I said, the brakes are working great. They've been quite dialed in. Um, I will say the rear tire is getting a little worn. I think I'm almost 400 miles on these tires so far, which at 400 miles for the rear tire to be as worn as it is, I'm a little surprised on the Kenda Kendas. So I am looking at what I will do is I'll swap the rear tire to the front tire, and put the front tire on the rear, get a little more life out of it. Um, and then I'll be looking at upgrading to a better overall tire set than what I've got on it. And I'm probably going to go a little wider than this. I do have these, so I've been doing all road today. I did pump the tires up to 50 psi instead of my usual 45. It's a little less cushy than I would like, but really pretty fast rolling, so pretty happy with that. Um, yeah, overall the bike's just rolling really well. And as for me, doing a quick little health update, my sugars are pretty stable. I go in on Friday for a follow-up appointment with my specialist, and I will get more info from her about where my A1C is, and I'll do a health update. I do have Friday off. We've been doing these half-day Fridays at work, and I'd scheduled the appointment for the morning, and I was just gonna do the rest of my day from like noon to whatever. But then when they announced the half day Fridays, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to take it off. I've got the PTO. Might as well take it off and do a nice long weekend and enjoy it. So, yeah, I have 3 coffee outside episodes recorded. I just need to process them. And if you've been here a while, coffee outside episodes are literally just sort of like an ASMR coffee making in a beautiful spot. It's all about just the scenery of the spot, the sound of the area, and making a cup of coffee with an alcohol stove and a pour over. Um, so I hope to get those processed pretty soon and get those up. I'm also hoping to get the East Coast Greenway section episodes up soon. I'm a little behind on things. This episode is going to be a little long, I think. Little behind on stuff because I had vacation and I don't take my the laptop my brother gave me with me on vacation because it weighs like 20 pounds. I just took what I call my pizza box, which is one step above a Chromebook with me. And yeah, it can't process video. I wouldn't even dare to try and download video onto it. Um, so got home, downloaded the videos from Maine. Really haven't felt like sitting in front of the computer. I've literally been sitting out in the backyard, testing out different coffee outside stuff, different camping equipment. I got a twig stove, which will do double duty as a stove that will hold my alcohol burner. So I want to make sure that when I do go camping that I have a couple of options for making coffee and food while I'm out camping. And this little titanium twig stove, it's going to do it. Really enjoying using that. I ordered that because I couldn't find my Zen Camp's alcohol windscreen. I found it eventually, and that's what I've been using for my coffee outside episodes. Yeah, I just misplaced it. I knew where I put it, and it had fallen behind something. So, object impermanence. Yeah. Anyway, I think that's where we'll stop this episode. Kind of surprised that it's been so quiet here this whole time, but this park does have a water station, so I was able to stop, fill up my coffee mug with a little water, refill my water bottle. I'm at 18 miles so far today. I think I'm gonna hit another 5 miles before I get back home, so get up and over that 20-mile mark, and then I gotta go mow the lawn. So, got shit to do. Can't sit here talking the whole time. Anyway, with that, thank you for being here, and hopefully the audio turns out okay. I might have scrambled the connector, unfortunately. Anyway, thanks for being here. I'll see you next time. Thanks, bye.